Hello guys, this is my 6th video in the Computer Science EDEXCEL Paper 2 Python coding tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking to you about import libraries and what they are, what they do, all this sort of thing. They're quite important, going to definitely need to know about them, especially if you continue to do programming in Python past GCSEs. So, like usual, just want to make a new file to start off with, save it somewhere. So once you've saved it, we'll get into this. So, what is an import library? So, every bit of code, like already pre-made code for you in Python, like print, for instance, right? This is like, you don't need to do anything to get that. That's just in base Python. But there are some things that are in Python, but you've got to add an extra little thing at the top of your code to put them in. And they're called modules. You import modules, right, which are collections of these things. So that's what importing is. So effectively, these libraries, there's very different ones, but each of them have kind of a system. So for the whole of your GCSE course, we'll be discussing random, math, and yes, the American spelling because Python was made by crazy people. Sleep. Oh no, sorry, time. And turtle. Right. So we're not going to be talking about this one in this video, but just be aware it exists. That's the next video. Stay tuned. So, how do you import one of these? Right. So this is a random library, for instance. This does stuff with random numbers, obviously. So all you have to do is say import random, because random is the name of the library. So now you've done this, any keyword you do, so if you were doing print or something, it'll just be like that. But if you want to do something that's from this random library, you're going to have to say random dot and then whatever, right? So why don't we just start off with things that are random. So there's two, obviously there's lots of stuff going on random, but there are two things in, there are two things you need to know in the random library, which is random dot random, which is a confusing name, but I'll explain what that is in a second, and random dot randint. So what random dot random does is pretty simple. So if I just say random equals that, so that just sets a variable called random to that, and then print out randnum so I can see the value of it. When I run this, see, all it does is give me a random number between 0 and 1. Right, so that's what random does. So if you don't want the range of 0 to 1, you want a different range, that's where randint comes in. Let's just take this, put it here. So random.randint is similar to random.random, but as the name suggests, it's only integers, and you can set a custom range for it. So if I want a random number between 1 and 10, I can say randint 1, 10, right? And so that just tells it, if you remember the range thing from the for loops video, I think that was, yeah, that was episode 4, where you would have this. Basically, I'm passing in multiple arguments into this function, and so what that does is that gives me a random number between 1 and 10, and you can see it is different, but it's always an integer, which means it's always a whole number, it's never got any decimals. So this is the main useful one. They might ask you about random.random, so be aware it's a random number, including decimals between 0 and 1. So let's move on to, so that's literally everything you need to know about random for GCSE. So put a big smiley face here. Right, so next one is math with no S, just math. And this is also fairly self-explanatory, but a little more complicated. It's maths things. What a shocker. So I'll start off with a simple one. Math dot squirt, like this, SQRT, this is short for square. That's not how you spell square. Square root. Right, so any number you put in here, it will square root it. So like 4. Oh, if I just put this, I can just put this in straight in a print statement as well. Don't need to do it in a variable. And you see, it's just square rooted it. So that's square root of 2, obviously. Square root of 16, 4. Yeah, boom. And so you'll notice this dot 0. So you should know this dot 0 means it's coming out as a float value, not an integer. A float, if you didn't watch my which one was it? Didn't watch my episode 3 about episode 3 about variables and types. You'll know floats are just numbers that have decimals, basically. They're calculated in a different way that lets them have decimals, and integers are whole numbers like these ones. So if you want to use these as integers, so the reason they're floats is because most numbers you square root are decimals. Like if I do 2, for instance, that's, the large majority of numbers end up as decimals, so it's fair enough. So if you want to use this for anything that you need it to be an integer for, you just need to put int around it, obviously, and then boom, integer. So some other math things. Another pretty simple one, math.pi is the irrational number pi. So it just prints that out. So if you ever need pi for circles or cylinders, they might ask you about it. Math.pi, just spelled like that. Right, that's an easy one. Because that never changes. So, also a note for this one. When you're using this, they will sometimes want you to do something like pi is equal to math.pi or something, because they want you to set this as a constant, but that's why it's in full caps. If you didn't see my types video, this is a constant. So they might want you to do this rather than just using math.pi in every place. So be wary of that. So then there's 2 more for math. There is math.ceil and math.floor. So what these do is they either round up or round down. So we'll put the same number into them and they will give us different results, because math.ceil, like the ceiling's up, ceil short for ceiling, it rounds up, and math.floor rounds down. So you can see it's math.ceil has rounded 2.5 up, Oh, and you can see it's not just normally rounding. If I put in 2.4, still does round up. And math.floor rounds down to 2. So those are pretty simple, just round up or round down, depending on if it's ceil or floor. And so now the last one, except turtle, you want is time. This one has a whole one thing in it. That's why I said sleep earlier, is because the only thing time has that you need to know about is time.sleep, and you put seconds in. So if I want to delay the entire code for 5 seconds, I can say print, just like anything, waiting, print, finished. So what this will do is it will say waiting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but yeah, and finish, boom. So that's all this does. This is the only one you need to know from time. Time.sleep. So to summarize, oh yeah, that's all of them. Yeah. So to summarize all of them, in random we have random dot random and random dot randint, which has a range of some sort inside of it. So yeah, so math.ceil, math.floor, math.script, math.phi, and finally time.sleep and time. So I'll quickly just run through what all of these do again. Random number between 0 and 1. Random integer, which is a whole number between the range you give it, so it can be any range. That's the whole of the random module. Math with no S because Americans. Math.ceil, round up. Math.floor, round down. Math.square roots, or squart, SQRT. Square root the number. Remember this one comes out as a float value, so be careful of that. Math.pi, pi, like the number. Do note this one doesn't have brackets because it's just a value. It's not a function. It's just giving you a number back. It's not running any code. And finally, time.sleep is the only one you need to know, and that just waits the amount of seconds in here. Just a notice on this one: most programming languages, their sleep functions are in milliseconds, so you would normally have like 5,000 in here. But Python decided to do it in seconds. You can do it decimals if you need to, but these are seconds. And that about wraps up this video. Next video I'll be talking about the turtle module, which is the most complicated, the one to use. But do not leave yet. I have something very important to tell you. Okay? I have found a very, very useful document that I will place in the description of this video, which contains everything you need to know about Python for GCSE. It's literally just a list of all the keywords you need to know and what they do. I'm basing my videos off it now, so I can make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, click it. I've added it to all the previous descriptions as well. Just click on the link. It'll have some text. I'm not sure what it'll say, but click on it. Right, it's just a PDF. You can download it. You can print it. look at it. It's literally a cheat sheet, and best thing about it, it's made by EDEXCEL, so you know it's accurate. They base the exam papers they make off of this document. So just learn everything in this document, right? Obviously come back to these videos to revise, but look at that document as much as you can, because it is just everything you need to know. Yeah, so make sure, take that, download it, whatever. And thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe if you want to keep up with my next videos. Like I said, next video's on Turtle. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. And thank you for watching.